What's going on, everybody? It's Dan, Moonshine, the Hillbilly Hellraiser. Hoping everyone's having a good one. I'm doing all right. Can't complain too much. Can't really complain. It's my weekend, so that's cool. Had my, I guess, first official day of PT for my neck. Been having some issues with that related to my previous lifestyle choices. Um, so did that today. Didn't really kick my butt too much, but they're just working on like posture type stuff and stretching and like certain mobility stuff. Basically trying to retrain my brain to do certain movements certain ways, and then eventually as I continue to go, they're going to start adding different exercises and whatnot. But mostly it's just little simple basic stuff I can do at home. I'm supposed to be doing it every day for the next 4 weeks, and the goal being is that the little electricity that I get going down my arms will recede a lot further going forward in the future, and that'd be nice because it sucks. I don't wish it on anybody. But that said, it's also very cold here because all these cocky ass Floridians were bragging earlier in the week about the 85-degree weather that we got down here, and then the very next day it was in the 30s, and it's been staying about that. Today's not too bad, but it's sunny out. It's always sunny out for the most part, but it's very cold, especially at night. The night after that, everyone was bragging about the 85-degree weather. It was windy and in the 30s, and that's uncommon for Florida, so everybody was suffering. I mean, I don't mind the cold, but you have to be prepared for it. And a lot of times people in Florida aren't prepared for it. They have stuff that they wear. Their cold weather wears. They have those that they break out like once or twice a year. Blow the dust off it or take it out of the mothballs and whatnot. So other than that, that's pretty much that's what's going on as far as like personal stuff. I do have to say I was wildly surprised by the level of interest that people have had in my past couple of videos. First of all, cheers, thank you, hails. I was shocked by that, especially the Megadeth one. I kind of figured because I screwed up. I said it was the 16th album instead of the 17th, and when I was looking on the archives, I wasn't doing my math right, and I missed one. So I figured like, oh geez, I always get nervous whenever anything that I personally do on my channel gets good views because I'm like, okay, what did I screw up, and what stupid, embarrassing moment did I create for myself that now people are watching it just like making me part of like friggin' Metal Lolcow Live or something or other. They get that Keemstar guy to host that, but it was cool. A lot of people commented on it. A lot of people were. I got a bunch of people that subscribe to the channel, which is cool. But as long as people watch my stuff, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it, and it was more than I gotta believe that it was more than people watching it just go, "You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about." I gotta think that some people enjoyed it, so that was cool. I appreciate it. And then, just talking about the wrestling stuff, in particular the Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I've been enjoying that. So I guess that got a little bit of engagement from people, which again is very cool. Hope people who are watching my channel for the first time stick around. Hopefully enjoy some of the other stuff that I've done in the past and you stick around in the future. Did a poll. I'm going to keep that up for a little while as far as I want to do an album ranking. Thus far, Goatwhore has taken the lead and has stayed in the lead for the most part. But I'll keep that up for a couple of weeks because it's not something I'm going to do in the immediate future, but it is definitely something I want to do pretty soon. And I like to do periodically do an album ranking, and these were the bands that I put up were kind of some of the bands that I had in mind. There's a couple that I was also going to put up, but they're ones I'm going to do anyway because they got new albums out. So I figured it'd be a nice like companion piece to the new albums that are going to be coming out this year. So yeah, but other than that, that's what I got for you. And now let's get on to the review. Now that I've wasted about 5 minutes saying nothing. Uh, Yeah, we're gonna. This is a poser alert because I'm gonna talk about a band that most people who listen to underground metal would not talk about for the life of them. This is, and I want to pull up my notes because I also don't want to have another cringe moment. And screw up any of my info for all of you. But anyhow, this is the newest album from Alter Bridge. If any of you are familiar with Alter Bridge, they are an American hard rock band. Very indicative of, I would say, probably modern radio rock, pop rock, alternative rock, whatever you want to call it. But this is their eighth studio album. It's self-titled Alter Bridge, which I did kind of chuckle at because I was watching Matt from Altars of Madness, and he was talking about if you're naming you're this far along in your album in your band's history, and you're naming a later album self-titled, you're probably getting somewhat creatively bankrupt. But I don't know. That's neither here nor there. That's his opinion. Uh, but to kind of give the backstory on this and the band itself has been around since 2004. It is basically it's the band Creed, if you're familiar with Creed, another very popular late 90s, early 2000s hard rock band. It's basically Creed without Scott Stapp. The Mark Tremonti, who's the guitar player, he does vocals. Brian Marshall, who's the bass player, and Scott Phillips, who does drums. They all basically Creed broke up, and they found Miles Kennedy, who's the lead vocals and also does guitar, and they formed Alter Bridge, and they've been together ever since. This is once again their eighth studio album, follow up to 2022's Pawns and Kings. And what I thought was cool about this was a couple things. One, it was recorded at Eddie Van Halen's 5150 Studios in LA, which is really cool. I mean, that's pretty cool. Besides maybe getting to record at Sunlight or recording at Morrisound, I feel like that's probably one of the cooler places to record at, as far as if you're into rock or metal or anything like that, getting to record at certain studios. I don't know, maybe getting to record at Sun City in is that Tennessee or Memphis or wherever it is. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, they got to do that. They got their longtime producer, Mike Elvis Basquet, to do the production on it. And this was released on, believe it or not, Napalm Records, if you can believe that. Hopefully, you can see that. I'll just try to get that in as close as I can so everybody can get a good look. Yeah, I thought that was wild because I was watching YouTube the other day, and they were releasing a video for Nervosa's upcoming album. They put out stuff by Nile, 1914, Goliath, which is Exodus's newest release. It's coming out in March. That's on Napalm. So you kind of get a general idea of the sorts of stuff that Napalm Records puts out. And then they're putting out an Alter Bridge album, which I thought was pretty wild. But anyhow, um, as far as the sound of the band, I would say it's very guitar driven. Of course, with it being Mark Tremonti in the band. He's a very prolific player, very good creative guitar player. Great storing, shredding leads. Very kind of more on the trebly, distorted side as far as the guitar tone goes, if that makes any sense. Lots of in the pocket drumming and bass. And then Miles Kennedy is his vocals are off the charts good. I mean, he's got such a great range, very bluesy falsetto sound, can hit ridiculous highs. He's a tremendous vocalist. As far as hard rock vocalists and just pure singers in the entire rock and metal world, he's probably one of my favorite as far as modern guys go. I mean, he's a fantastic singer. Just has a great voice. Very expressive and soulful at times, and then just hitting those crazy falsettos with the vibrato and all that. It's top tier stuff. Lyrically, I'm gonna. I guess this might be my hot take of the day, but I would say they're probably like a modern day Striper in a certain sense because it's lots of very positive and uplifting, uh, dare I say, inspirational kind of lyrics, which is to be expected because if you're familiar with Creed and their history and a little bit with Alter Bridge, it's a little bit more on not so much like devotional Jesus-y side, but there's hints and allusions to that. So if that's the sort of thing that'll turn you off from listening to a band, I can't really do anything about that. But it's kind of there is a general tenor that happens within the band's lyrics, and that is a bit where they fall on. Uh, as far as my relationship with the band, if you will, I've been listening to them since the first album, which was really good. I think there's One Day Remains was the name of it. Uh, I saw them, me and my buddies. We went to go see them in, I want to say, I want to say 2021, maybe 2022. It was around that time period. It was after all of the unpleasantness, the global unpleasantness, and people were starting to go to shows again. And it was actually really cool, not to get all personal and everything, but it was one of those deals where I hadn't spoken to one of my buddies in quite some time, and it was one of those things where we had just started kind of like getting back in touch with each other, and this was one of the first things that we did. He, myself, and another friend of ours, we all went out to a show. We all like Alter Bridge, all big fans of the band. They also had Dirty Honey was opening for them, and I know there was another band playing with them, but I can't remember who it was. And we went out to go do that and go check it out. It was at a club called Janice Live in St. Pete, Florida. Very cool open air venue. Alter Bridge. It was this freaking band, Skillet, Skrillex. I think it's Skillet, Skillet or Skrillex. I don't know which one's the. Not that one. It's an actual band. They do a lot of stuff that's. They used to do a lot of the themes for WWE programming. So that's the only way I'm familiar with them. And they were good. And I actually think it was kind of weird, like a little bait and switch deal, because they played longer than Alter Bridge did. Alter Bridge played for like 45 minutes, and Skillet played for an hour and a half. And they had a whole big production thing. And even the posters called it the Skillet World Tour, but Alter Bridge got top billing. So it was kind of a weird thing. The same thing even happened when I saw Arch Enemy and Behemoth. Behemoth played longer than Arch Enemy, but Arch Enemy got top billing. So I don't know how that works. But nonetheless, just kind of give you a little bit of a brief overview of how long I've listened to the band. And like I said, I really, as far as hard rock, not underground metal stuff, not thrash or death or black metal or doom metal or sludge or anything like that. This is the sort of like hard rock that I enjoy. Not sort of, it's a type of hard rock I enjoy. So getting into the album, it's 10 tracks, 10 songs. They released about four of them ahead of time leading up to the release, which was on January 9th, I want to say. I'll tell you the January 9th. Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. And overall, this was Oh, before I even get to, sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place. And I got the opportunity and the pleasure to see Miles Kennedy. He's in a band with Slash, Miles Kennedy and the Co-Conspirators. I think that might be his band, but they team up with Slash from Guns N' Roses, and they did a phenomenal job as well. Got to see them open for Ozzy, which was a very cool show to go see. And yeah, man. And then Mark Tremonti's got his own band. Uh, Tremonti and Phillips and Marshall are all back out with Creed. They're doing a reunion deal with them. So, all very busy boys as far as keeping busy, which, as I'll get into, I think may have contributed to my thoughts on the band and this album. Overall, it wasn't bad, but I'd have to say it was a little on the disappointing side. It started off very, very strong. Silent Divide, which was the first single, very powerful opening riff to start out the song. Very, very good song to start out the album. It closed really strong with Slave to Master, which is also, it takes the award for the longest song that Creed has ever put out. It clocked in at almost 10 minutes long. It kind of had, if you're familiar with the band Coheed and Cambria, it had a very similar tone to In Keeping the Secrets of the Silent Earth. I think it's part three or something or other. But that song, it had that very kind of epic sway to it, and it was very good. I would say the second track, "Rue the Day," that was decent. As far as a couple of the other songs that were singles, I know they had "Scales Are Falling" and "Playing Aces," which they were all right. I mean, but I didn't really they didn't really do much for me. "Trust in Me" was another one that I believe was a single, and that one was decent, I would have to say. But beyond that, probably my favorite song on here was, besides the opener and closer, was "Tested and Able." And that was one of the ones that Tremonti sang on. And he's got an interesting voice. It's not as powerful as Miles Kennedy. He doesn't have the range and the dynamic vocal performance that Kennedy gives out. I was going to say perform, but that was kind of redundant. But it was really good. And lots of good harmonies on it. I would even say probably as far as a couple songs that were, yeah, probably Trust in Me was all right. There was another one that was halfway decent, but I gotta say, by and large, I would have to I just have to say that it was really kind of like, for the most part, I got the impression that maybe they were a little, maybe they're spread a little too thin creatively with the three guys being out on tour with Creed, doing reunion stuff with them. Miles Kennedy is doing his stuff with Slash and his band. They all have solo, the Tremonti and Kennedy both have solo projects, and it just seems that they're all so busy that maybe they weren't able to focus entirely on doing an Alter Bridge album, because there wasn't, even the really good songs on the album, there wasn't that really memorable, there wasn't something that really stuck with you. There weren't any riffs that had these amazing earworms, like even on the last album, which was a halfway decent. Sin After Sin's a really good song on that one, and it's got a very creative guitar riff in there that just sticks in your head. And like some of the more classic stuff like Cry of Achilles, um, Blackbird, Addicted to Pain, uh, stuff like that. Lover's another good one off of Fortress. I mean, there was stuff like that. Even like the hits, like stuff that's been around, 20 years. Some of the stuff off the first album, you just, there wasn't a lot of that. It didn't seem like there was a really, they didn't make real good use of Miles Kennedy's vocal range and his skills and abilities. I don't know if that was just because they, maybe he's getting a little bit older and getting to that point where he's trying to save his voice for certain times and, right place, right time, that sort of thing. Or they just, I don't know, maybe they just didn't. It didn't have the punch that I was really hoping for. So I would say overall, uh, it was all right. Go check it out if you want. If you're into hard rock, if you like Alter Bridge, if you're willing to check out their new album, go check it out. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Go make up your own mind for yourself. You don't have to listen to me. I mean, I'm a friggin' dummy. I love Megadeth and couldn't get right how many albums they put out, which will haunt me for my days. But it is what it is. I'm a dum dum, and I've told you before. I'll get stuff right. I'll get stuff right. I'll get stuff wrong. And sometimes I get stuff wrong, and it's wildly off, and that's for me to worry about. That's for me to feel embarrassed about and slink my shameful face into my desk and into my hands and get all red faced and embarrassed. But nonetheless, yeah, so go check it out if you want. But that's what I thought about it. It was okay, but it wasn't. It was just, there's something missing to it. That'd be my good, but something missing. There were moments there where there was signs of promise, but it went unfulfilled. So that is my review of Alter Bridge's latest album, the self-titled Alter Bridge. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you check out more of the videos. Yeah, and I got more stuff on the way. JCW recap sooner than later. I won't wait weeks on to do 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes at once and have it be like a friggin' Lord of the Rings installment. But yeah, man, so that's what I got for you. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Dan. This has been Moonshine Talking. Hopefully, I had a good one. Everyone, take it easy. As always, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck your chin upon impact. Don't forget to breathe. Keep head banging and iron slanging. Have a good one, and I will catch you on the next video. Later.